Joe King comes out on stage and says,
"Hello, yes, my name's Joe King. I'm not joking, though I do prefer to be called Juris Dr. King. So yes, I'm trying to be a bit more politically correct these days and catch up with the times. A lot of this stuff that has happened politically and culturally the last few years that has really become prominent, I'm just not that familiar with in my everyday life. But I want to educate myself on these subjects so that I can be more sensitive in my comedy. To that end, I saw on social media recently that Wayne Brady, who I know from his work on The Chappelle Show, is Wayne Brady going to have to choke a bitch, came out as a pansexual. Now, if you're behind the times like me, you may have thought that the term pansexual was a Peter Pan reference, but apparently it's not. Even though there's no P in LGBTQ, pansexual is an actual term. So in order to educate myself on what exactly a pansexual is, I asked friend of the show, Norm MacDonald, to come out and teach me all about pansexuality. Norm?
Norm MacDonald walks on the stage. Applause, applause, applause.
King. Norm, would you be kind enough to explain to me what pansexuality is?
MacDonald. Why, sure, Joe. I'd be happy to, you know. Pansexuality is a sexual orientation that encompasses romantic or sexual attraction to people of all genders.
King. All genders, you mean both male and female?
MacDonald. By God, no, Joe. There are many more than two genders, you know.
King. That's right, I keep forgetting that. Go ahead.
MacDonald. Besides male and female, you know, there's non-binary, gender queer, gender fluid, agender.
King. Okay, I get the picture.
MacDonald. Bigender, two-spirit, androgynous, and demigender, to name a few.
King. I get it, Norm. Now back to pansexuality.
MacDonald. Pansexuals may feel attracted to people regardless of their sex or gender identity, you know. The term pansexual was coined in the mid-1990s by Don Shetterly, who wanted to create a term that was more inclusive than bisexuality.
King. So pansexuality is different from bisexuality.
MacDonald. Why, yes it is, Joe. You know, pansexuality is often misunderstood as being the same as bisexuality. But there are some key differences between the two. Bisexuals generally are attracted to usually just two genders. Pansexuals, on the other hand, are attracted to all genders equally. All of them, Joe. Non-binary, genderqueer, you name it. And attracted to all of them equally.
King. Thank you, Norm, for clearing that up.
MacDonald. There's something else about pansexuality that's important to note, you know?
King. And what's that, Norm?
MacDonald. Well, something else that's important to note about pansexuality is that it's a spectrum. And not all pansexuals experience attraction in the same way.
King. Now, how's that?
MacDonald. Well, Joe, some pansexuals may have a preference for one gender over another, while other pansexuals may be completely gender blind. Ultimately, pansexuality is a personal identity, and each individual pansexual will have their own unique experiences and perspectives.
King. Very good.
MacDonald. If you're wondering if you might be a pansexual...
King. I'm not, Norm, but thank...
MacDonald. Well, if you are wondering if you might be a pansexual, there are a few things you can do to explore your identity.
King. And what would those things be, Norm.
McDonald. Why, you could talk to pansexuals to learn about their experiences. Why, you could also read books or articles about pansexuality or watch documentaries or videos about it. King. McDonald. Another way to explore your identity, is to pay attention to your own feelings and attractions. King.
Got it, Norm.
McDonald. Do you feel attracted to people of all genders equally? Do you feel like gender is not a big deal in your attraction? If so, you may be a pansexual.
Okay, thank you, Norm. That was Norm MacDonald on pansexuality.
McDonald, I have some more information I could regale you with about pansexuality.
Okay, no, I think we got it, Norm. Thank you. Norm MacDonald, everybody.
Applause, applause, applause. King walks off stage and onto another stage, sits at a seat behind the desk and says,
"Please welcome to the program a very funny person, a one-time cast member of SNL and current cast member of Saturday Night Live, Danitra Vance."
Danitra Vance emerges from behind the curtain and waves at the audience. Applause, applause, applause. Vance walks over and sits at a seat next to King's desk. King.
"Danitra, welcome to the program."
Vance. "Thank you for having me." King.
"Now, this is a big moment for the Joe King Show, as not only are you an African-American lesbian, but you're also the first non-binary guest of the show. Give Danitra a round of applause."
Applause, applause, applause. Vance. "I'm not non-binary. We talked about this." King whispers,
"Not now, Danitra. Just go with it."
Vance turns to the audience and says, "This is just a ploy by Joe to seem like he's politically correct. But I'm not non-binary. I identify as a woman."
Okay. Okay, well, Danitra and I have had some discussions about this, and I thought we came to the agreement that it would be in the best interest of the show if you were a non-binary lesbian.
Vance. "How could I be a non-binary lesbian?"
Okay, what do you mean?
Vance. "A lesbian, by definition, has to identify as a female, because a lesbian means a woman who is sexually attracted to other women. If I didn't have a gender, I couldn't be a lesbian."
Okay, well, how about making me a happy man and showing our audience how progressive I am by coming out as a non-binary queer?
Vance. "I'm not changing my identity for you. I'm proud to be a woman and a lesbian." Applause, applause, applause.
Very well. Let's get into your life then. You were raised on the south side of Chicago, just like my original ego.
Vance. "That's right. I grew up with my mother, youngest sister, and maternal grandparents, where telling stories was the main form of entertainment."
Very good. And in high school, you were active in theater and on the debate team.
Vance. "That's right."
So you were a master debater then?
Vance. "Is that your pathetic attempt to make a masturbation joke?"
Pathetic is a strong word. Now, moving on. After high school, you went to the National College of Education.
Vance. "Yeah, but then I transferred to Roosevelt University, where I studied playwriting and acting. I then moved to London to study at the Webber Douglas Academy of Dramatic Art, where I was classically trained in Shakespeare."
All the world's a stage, eh? Very good. You then joined Second City in Chicago.
Vance. "I know what you're going to say. I've heard your interviews before. Your original ego is taking classes there now.
Very good.
Vance. "I wasn't there too long, though, as I moved to New York in 1981 with goals of performing. But I faced discrimination and moved to Gary, Indiana to teach high school. And there my students helped inspire my characters for my next show."
And what was your next show?
Vance. "I put on the show Danitra Vance and the Mellow White Boys at the La Mama Experimental Theater Club. Among the characters I performed in the show were some that I later developed on SNL, including Cabrini Green Jackson, and Flotilla Williams. King,
Cabrini Green Jackson, huh?
Vance, that's right. When she debuted on SNL, she said, "My name is Cabrini Green Harlem Watts Jackson. I'm a Libra. My favorite sport is running. I'm in the 10th grade. I'm 17 years old, and I have 2 children."
King, very good. So let's get into SNL then. You joined in 1985?
Vance, yeah, I was the first black woman to become a repertory player on SNL, and the second lesbian after Denny Dillon. And since I was on at the same time as Terry Sweeney, that was the first time SNL had 2 gay cast members.
King, but you weren't gay together, right?
Vance, excuse me?
King, I just wanted to clear things up for the audience. Since Terry was a guy, you two were both gay on the show, but you weren't being gay, together.
Vance, King.
Because if you were gay together, that wouldn't be gay at all. That'd be hetero.
Vance, I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
King, okay then, moving on. How was your time on the show?
Vance, well, I was only there for 1 season, season 11. It was Lorne's first season back on the show after he'd been gone for 5 years, and there was a lot of transition. We basically were a whole new cast from the year before, and it was taking time to gel. And I became frustrated over repeatedly having characters stereotypical of black women written for me.
Okay, like Cabrini Green Jackson?
Vance, exactly.
Okay, but Danitra, you brought that character to the show.
Vance, that doesn't mean that's all I could do. Look, at the end of the day, it was competitive as hell on that show, and I didn't get on as much as I would have liked to.
Okay. Well, you did have a rather memorable cold open one time when Oprah Winfrey was hosting.
Vance, yeah, in the cold open, Lorne was asking Oprah to play Aunt Jemima, and she refused. And I came by as a stereotypical black female servant, and Lorne asked me what he should do. And I told him to beat her. And then Lorne proceeded to go into Oprah's dressing room, and there was a lot of commotion, until finally Oprah came out with her arm around Lorne's head, showing she had beat him up.
Okay, holy shit, it's not 1986 anymore, that's for sure. Anyway, any hard feelings about leaving after 1 season?
Vance, what can I say? I wish I had been given more opportunity, but it was a thrill of a lifetime, so no hard feelings.
Okay, plus now you're a rising star on Saturday Night Live.
Vance rolls her eyes and says, "Uh-huh."
Okay, very good. Anyway, in life, after leaving SNL, you were awarded an NAACP Image Award in 1986, and later won an Obie Award for Distinguished Performance by an Actress for your performance in the theatrical adaptation of Spunk, a collection of short stories written by Zora Neale Hurston.
Vance, that's right. I was very proud of that.
King, very good. And you later then played a guardian angel in the movie Limit Up.
Vance, I did, and that was a lot of fun.
King, you were diagnosed with breast cancer in 1990, and you underwent a single mastectomy, which you incorporated into a solo show titled The Radical Girl's Guide to Radical Mastectomy, but by 1993 the cancer returned and you passed away.
Vance, yeah, my funeral was held at an amusement park, and my family threw me a going-away party with apple bobbing and beanbag tossing, just as I wished.
Okay, very good. We're running out of time, but I want to thank you for being on the program, and can't wait to see you back out there on Saturday Night Live.
Vance, me neither, Joe.
King, Danitra Vance, everybody.
Applause, applause, applause.
King. That's all the time we have for this show, but tune in to the next one where we interview another deceased guest. Until then, I'm Joe King, and I'm not joking.